extra time.
How big a challenge is India in India, and how big a step up is it from what you faced in Sri Lanka?
Oh, listen, we're going there with his eyes open. We know it's going to be a very tough challenge. We know India are an excellent team, and we respect that, especially in their own conditions. But I think it's an exciting challenge at that as well. I mean, we are in a good place. We're constantly growing. I think we can go out there and I think we can win. And obviously, so do the players and everybody that's here. But we completely respect how tough and how big a challenge it is that's in front of us. But I think we can clear up to it.
Is it the biggest challenge, or one of the biggest challenges in Test cricket? It seems to be harder for England teams to win there than even Australia.
Well, I think it is a very tough challenge, but as I said, it's great for the team as well. I think we'll continue learning when we're out there. I mean, pitching ourselves against, arguably one of the best teams in the world, it's a great place to be, and it's a start of 9 Test matches against them before we actually go to Australia as well. So I think it'll be a great experience for us, and it'll harden as a.
And with Ben likely to come in for that second Test at least, do you feel like his presence has raised the bar a little bit and helped Joss along?
I think we've all helped each other. I mean, one of the things that obviously travelling with the bigger squads and living where we have to at the moment is that all the guys are working together. So you've got Joss and Ben working closely together there. Bracey doing the keeping drills all the time. So I think we're sharing information all the time. We're getting used to each other and helping each other along. I mean, they learn just as much off each other as they do the coaches. So I think that is one advantage of living where we do. But they work brilliantly together.
And you'll have Rory Burns coming back, Ben Stokes and Jofra. How do you plan to move those guys in? Will they definitely play the first Test? Is there a plan?
Well, I mean, obviously we'll get there, we'll get on the training field, and we'll just make sure that everybody's in a good place, and then we'll reintegrate them in. And if they're fit, they're ready, and they're looking good, then they will be available for selection. Yes.
I was just going to ask whether there was anything to sort of exploit from India coming off the back of obviously that quite historic series in Australia. I'm just wondering if there's possibly an opportunity there, given that they'll be coming off such a high, but also probably pretty exhausted as well after all those efforts to get that series win.
I mean, one thing it has shown me is that we're going to be a difficult team to beat, really, which is. It's a great challenge for us. Do I think we can beat them? Yes. I always take the positive side of things. I think we can beat them. But we know it's going to be a hard-fought contest. And, if we come out on top of this one, then it puts the confidence again will go through the roof for us. But, as I said earlier, I respect the fact that they are a fine side and we've got some really good players. And we're going to have to be at the top of our game.
Given how well the Seamers did in Sri Lanka, do you have any sort of hard and firm selection issues going into the India series? I mean, or do you have it in the back of your mind that you're probably going to play 2 spinners? Or moving on from that, are the protocols around Moeen and his recovery? Does that mean he's going to be available for the first Test?
Yeah, I mean, if we start with Moeen, then he should be available for the first Test. I mean, he's sort of been through everything he needs to go through. It's progressing nicely. From a selection point of view, obviously we'll have to look at the wicket when we get there, but history may suggest that you'd be looking at 2 spinners. And then we're just going to have a look how the rest of the bowling attack will look beyond that. Obviously, if you've got Ben back, you've got choices you can make with the seamers at the other end, and just how we want the attack to look. Whether you want, who you're going to use as pace, and so on and so forth. So we've got some good options available to us.
From what you've just said there, you were talking about the history. Quite a few England coaches who have gone before you have been tempted to go the seam route, haven't they? Who sort of backed England's traditional strength. And I can't think of an example of it working in India. Is that something that you've looked at?
Well, it's a very good point. No, so I mean, I'm open-minded. I'm obviously very open to ideas all the time, and we look at the stats, we look at, what has been successful at that ground before, and we'll take a lead from it.
If I could offer you 2 successes, an India tour, an India home Test series, a World T20 World Cup, and Ashes, which 2 would you take? What are your 2 main goals this year? dictating how you're going about things?
We want to win everything, to be honest. I don't really want to say I want this one or this one, but we're going to go into every series, every competition, trying to win it and trying to improve constantly. So I don't really want to pick anything out. Everyone is just as important as the next.
What did you learn most of all from this series about your team?
I think we learned that we've got a lot of character. I think we showed a lot of fight and a lot of resilience. To win the way we did, having lost both tosses and had to do it the hard way, so to speak. I think we saw a lot of character out there. Obviously, Ruti played beautifully. And to score the runs he did was obviously helped us a lot. And I thought his captaincy was excellent. The way he moved his bowls around, the way he used his spinners, the field he placed. And we've learned that the game plan that we've got can work here as well.
Root's performances were obviously outstanding. Any concern, though, that you're over-reliant on his runs at all as you head to India?
Not really, to be honest, because this sort of happens, really. People sort of coming and going out of form. He's in form at the moment, and long may that continue, but you'll find that other people come into form as well, and they will start scoring runs. So it's just
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.